Today, people strive to build skyscrapers, as taller buildings tend to impress more. However, in some cases, underground structures significantly surpass high-rise constructions. In this video, I invite you to explore the most fascinating underground structures from around the world. Enjoy watching. In the small village of Baori in Rajasthan lies one of the most astonishing structures in all of India, Chand Baori. Chand Baori is a deep stepwell with 3,500 steps. At the bottom of this magnificent structure lies a small, murky green pool, and the niches house sculptures of the deities Ganesha and Durga. The well is 30 meters deep. The exact age of Chand Baori is unknown. Most experts agree it was built between the 9th and 11th centuries CE, likely commissioned by King Chanda of the Nakumba dynasty, after whom the structure is named. The well was constructed to provide clean drinking water to the people, a necessity in a region where prolonged droughts follow heavy rains and can last up to 6 months. Local residents believe that the stepwell was built much earlier before the Common Era. According to legend, Chand Baori was constructed by demons in just one day. The people of Baori associate the stepwell with evil spirits, as there have been incidents where people accidentally fell into it and died. The unique design of Chand Baori contributes to this mystique. It has an inverted pyramid shape, with a large square top gradually narrowing as it descends. 3 of its walls are composed of countless steps. To reach the bottom, one must descend 90 steps, though the total number of steps on all 3 sides is 3,500. While the decision to build a water reservoir was an excellent one, the rainwater in Chand Baori stagnated quickly in the Indian climate, and the well lacked any water purification systems. Thus, the water from Chand Baori was unlikely to be safe for consumption. Despite its inability to provide clean drinking water, Chand Baori is a magnificent historical structure. Today it attracts a large number of tourists who come to the village of Baori to marvel at its beauty. In the small Polish town of Wieliczka lies the Royal Salt Mine, renowned for its breathtaking beauty. This site has rightfully earned a place on the UNESCO World Heritage List. The first mentions of the salt mines date back to 1044, but full-scale salt extraction began only in the 13th century. Initially, salt was extracted manually only in places where brine surfaced, but soon the first wells were dug, followed by mines. King Casimir III the Great, who ruled Poland from 1333 to 1370, played a crucial role in the mine's development. During his reign, a saltworks castle and a hospital were built above the mine. Additionally, the king granted numerous privileges to the miners and placed them under his personal protection. For over 4 centuries, the salt mines belonged to the royal dynasty. However, Austrian occupation in 1772 ended the monopoly on salt extraction. Despite this, the Wieliczka salt mine continued to develop and was only closed in 1992. Today, the mine consists of 7 levels, located at depths ranging from 57 to 198 meters, with a total corridor length of 200 kilometers. Now a major tourist destination, the mine offers visitors plenty to marvel at. It features about 20 different chambers and chapels, each unique. The most famous attraction is the Chapel of St. Kinga, the patroness of salt miners in Poland. According to legend, when Hungarian Princess Kinga was preparing to marry Prince Boleslaw V, the Chaste of Krakow, she asked her father to include a piece of salt in her dowry. To fulfill his daughter's request, he gifted her an entire salt mine in Maramuros. Before leaving for Poland, Kinga threw her ring into the mine. Later, in Krakow, she asked miners to bring her a piece of salt. When they delivered the salt to the princess and split it open, they found her ring inside. The Chapel of St. Kinga is located 101 meters underground. Inside are sculptures of the Hungarian princess and other saints, as well as a salt replica of Leonardo da Vinci's The Last Supper. The room is illuminated by a magnificent chandelier made of salt crystals. The chapel remains active to this day. The Edinburgh vaults are a labyrinth of 120 underground chambers and tunnels located beneath the South Bridge, which was built in the late 18th century. Initially, these structures served as storage spaces, as well as housing taverns and cobblers' workshops. However, over time, the vaults began to flood with water and fell into disrepair. Despite this, they continued to be used by locals, marking the start of a dark chapter in the history of the South Bridge. In the early 19th century, the vaults were cleared of goods and materials and left empty for a long time. This allowed Edinburgh's homeless population to use them as a refuge. Living conditions in the vaults were horrific, characterized by dampness, darkness, and unsanitary conditions. Eventually, the vaults turned into a true nightmare. Slum dwellers died from disease and suffered violence. Over time, the chambers became a haven for criminal groups, where they not only stored stolen goods, but also hid the bodies of murder victims. It is believed that even infamous serial killers William Burke and William Hare used the vaults as temporary storage for corpses, which they later sold to anatomist Robert Knox. Today, the Edinburgh vaults are a popular tourist attraction. Tours offer visitors a glimpse into the living conditions of a bygone era and an opportunity to immerse themselves in the poverty-stricken atmosphere of the early 19th century. However, many tourists visit the vaults for another reason. It is said that paranormal phenomena occur here and that spirits inhabit the space. The dark legends are not unfounded, as many people died within these walls. A Kariz or Kanat is a traditional underground water management system found in towns across Azerbaijan, Central Asia, and Iran. The system consists of an underground tunnel connecting a water source to the place where the water is needed. It is believed that the Kariz originated in Persia around 3,000 years ago. Some of these systems, despite their age, are still operational and provide drinking water to the population. On Kish Island in Iran, one such Kariz is considered a true underground city by locals. This structure is over 2,500 years old and is open to visitors, offering them a chance to see what an ancient underground water system looks like from the inside. The Kish Kariz is particularly stunning because the island is composed of coral. At a depth of 16 meters below the island's surface, several tunnels wind around wells, with a total length of 8 kilometers. The deeper visitors go into the Kariz, the more it resembles an underground city. The resemblance is further enhanced by the historical coral walls, which were reinforced with stone masonry during reconstruction. The authorities on the island have worked to draw attention to this incredible landmark. A kind of museum has been created within the Kariz, showcasing ancient Persian artifacts, along with several souvenir shops. Plans include opening cafes and even a cinema, gradually transforming the Kariz into a real underground city. In the French province of Picardy, in the village of Naours, lies a vast system of tunnels and chambers carved into a limestone plateau at a depth of over 30 meters. Locals refer to it as the underground city of Naours. Construction of the underground settlement began around the 9th century CE. Over centuries, the residents of Naours continued to improve the complex. The tunnels became wider and the chambers larger. Eventually, the underground city grew to such an extent that it could house up to 3,000 people along with their livestock. The underground structure served as a reliable shelter and saved the lives of Naours residents multiple times. The complex was so well designed that people felt comfortable living underground, despite its depth. The underground city of Naours consists of 300 rooms and 28 corridors. Inside were living quarters, separate areas for livestock, squares, bakeries, shops, and even 3 chapels. Every facility was meticulously planned. For instance, the bakeries with working ovens had chimneys cleverly routed through existing above-ground structures. This not only eliminated smoke and unpleasant odors, but also concealed the existence of the secret shelter. After the military situation in Western Europe stabilized, the need for such shelters disappeared. As a result, the underground city of Naours was forgotten until its rediscovery in the late 19th century. Today, Naours is the largest underground refuge in northern France. Located in the northwestern part of Ho Chi Minh City, in the rural district of Cu Chi, lies the Cu Chi Tunnel System. Today, the tunnels are part of a large historical complex, but during the Vietnam War, they were actively used by the Viet Cong, a military and political organization of the National Liberation Front of South Vietnam. This underground military facility was instrumental in helping North Vietnamese soldiers fight against the South Vietnamese government and the United States. The tunnel system served not only as a refuge, but also housed communication and supply routes, hospitals, weapons storage facilities, and living quarters. The Viet Cong understood that the tunnels could be discovered by American soldiers or South Vietnamese scouts, so they installed bamboo traps at the entrances and exits to seriously injure intruders. In 1966, U.S. soldiers learned about the tunnel system and launched Operation Crimp to destroy the North Vietnamese tunnels. However, the operation yielded no significant results, as soldiers feared venturing underground. Subsequent operations and bombings were also conducted, but most of the tunnels remained functional, allowing the Viet Cong to secretly transport supplies and station troops until the U.S. withdrawal in 1973 and the defeat of South Vietnam in 1975. Today, the tunnel complex, which spans 121 kilometers, has been transformed into a memorial park with 2 tunnels open to visitors. The attraction is very popular among tourists. Inside the tunnels, an atmosphere resembling the reality of the Vietnam War has been recreated, allowing visitors to feel like soldiers while remaining completely safe. Today, Cappadocia is a popular historical landmark in Turkey. Many tourists visit this amazing place to enjoy its fantastic volcanic landscape and explore the tunnels and underground cities built by ancient people. The history of this region dates back to the 5th millennium BCE. Over time, Cappadocia was part of the Hittite, Persian, Roman, Byzantine, Ottoman, and other empires. While the region was a hub for active trade, it was never densely populated. This was primarily due to the unique landscape, which made agriculture challenging. However, people found ways to adapt to life in this unusual area. Cappadocia's terrain is entirely covered by soft volcanic tuff, which has been shaped into various unique formations over centuries of erosion. This material is easy to carve, making it ideal for creating caves. As a result, Cappadocia is famous for its extensive network of underground tunnels and cities. The first underground cities in this historical region were discovered in the 19th century. To date, 6 ancient underground settlements have been found, the most famous being Derinkuyu. Derinkuyu was discovered in the latter half of the 20th century. It is a large, multi-level underground city constructed between the 2nd and 1st millennia BCE. Derinkuyu consists of 8 levels, reaching a maximum depth of 60 meters. The settlement's total area could accommodate up to 20,000 people along with their livestock. Inside Derinkuyu, there were all the necessities for comfortable living. Residential areas, ventilation shafts, stables, dining rooms, wine cellars, workshops, churches, and chapels. Moreover, the city provided reliable protection for residents during raids and other dangers. In the picturesque county of Cornwall, England, lies a vast number of underground tunnels. Most of these are known as fogus. A fogu is a man-made underground passage with walls lined with stones, some over 2,400 years old. However, Cornwall's tunnels also include those built more recently, such as smuggler tunnels. Smuggler tunnels were created in many countries worldwide to facilitate the illegal transportation of goods. Such hidden passageways continue to exist and are actively used, although law enforcement agencies occasionally uncover them. Cornwall residents tell stories about several such tunnels in their county, with some proving to be quite plausible. One notable example is a tunnel in the port town of Hale. In the 18th and 19th centuries, smuggling thrived in Cornwall. The high cliffs and deserted coves provided ideal conditions for illicit trade. Most smugglers were former fishermen and small-scale traders who lacked the means to support their families. These individuals banded together in small groups to import goods, which were significantly more expensive on the legal market. Such items sold at lower prices were in high demand, allowing smugglers to make a decent profit. To facilitate clandestine trade, smugglers constructed underground tunnels, some of which led directly to pubs or the homes of regular customers. Over time, illegal trade in Cornwall ceased, but the tunnels remain as a reminder of the challenges faced during the 18th and 19th centuries. In 1894, the New York State Legislature passed the Rapid Transit Act. This marked the beginning of the design for the first subway line, which would run from New York City Hall in Lower Manhattan to the Upper West Side. City Hall Station was planned as a multi-track loop with either 2 tracks on 2 levels or 4 tracks. The foundation for City Hall Station was laid on March 24, 1900, and the station was officially opened on October 27, 1904. Initially, it served only as an entry point, with the Brooklyn Bridge Station used as an exit. For this reason, City Hall Station was rarely used by residents, who preferred other stations. As subway ridership grew, older stations needed upgrades. To accommodate more trains, platforms had to be extended. This was possible for most stations, but not for City Hall. City Hall Station was built on a sharp curve and was located near the busier Brooklyn Bridge Station, making renovations impossible. Moreover, the station's design prioritized beauty over convenience. City Hall Station is indeed known for its stunning design. It was designed by Spanish structural engineer Rafael Guastavino. The ceiling is adorned with beautiful white, green, and brown tiles, while the vaults are constructed from thin terracotta tiles. Some tiles feature skylights with floral patterns. Additional lighting is provided by 12 chandeliers with floral motifs and nickel finishes. Despite its beauty, City Hall Station was closed in 1945 due to the impossibility of renovations. Today it is partially used as a bypass for train number 6. This means residents and visitors of New York City can still catch a glimpse of the city's most famous abandoned station. Metro 2 is the unofficial name for a network of underground transportation facilities in Moscow, Russia, designed for mobilization purposes. For a long time, the existence of Metro 2 was a matter of debate, but after several structures were declassified, there was no longer any doubt. This is not surprising, as similar facilities exist in other countries. For example, the United States openly acknowledges the existence of underground structures. It would be more surprising if the largest city in Europe lacked secret tunnels. While there is now a considerable amount of publicly available information about Metro 2, some sections of the underground system remain classified. So, what exactly is Metro 2? According to open sources, Metro 2 has at least 4 lines with a total length of over 60 kilometers. These lines differ from conventional metro lines. They lack a contact rail, and regular rails are embedded in concrete, allowing not only trains but also vehicles to travel through the tunnels. The depth of Metro 2 ranges from 50 to 250 meters. It is believed that in addition to the lines, Metro 2 also houses underground bunkers, each with an average capacity of about 15,000 people. Their exact locations and entry points remain unknown. Over time, many classified documents about the country's secret facilities have been made public. For example, in 2006, a previously classified bunker in the Taganka district, located between the Moskva and Yaouza rivers, was open to the public. It now houses the Cold War Museum, which anyone can visit. In 2008, another bunker, Bunker 703, was declassified. It is located near the Wieliczka station and consists of 2 levels, one at a depth of 11 meters and the other at 40 meters. It is likely that more information about the mysterious Metro 2 will be revealed in the future. Underground Naples is a vast system of tunnels and aqueducts located beneath the Italian city of Naples. Today, it is a popular tourist attraction. The underground labyrinth was constructed in the 5th century BCE by the ancient Greeks, primarily to collect rainwater. Reservoirs and passages were connected to an aqueduct that expanded as the city grew. Thus, the underground system grew along with Naples. Later, the underground wells came under Roman control. From then on, their maintenance was handled by specially selected workers. One of the main selection criteria was the workers' height and build, as many of the underground passages were narrow and low. Interestingly, This tradition persisted for a long time, and in the early Middle Ages, workers maintaining the aqueducts took advantage of their position to sneak into the homes of wealthy people for theft. This gave rise to legends about spirits and ghosts in underground Naples, said to occasionally steal valuables. In the late 16th century, the growth of Naples could no longer be contained, so a ban on importing building materials was issued. However, locals found a way to extract tuff for construction by expanding the existing tunnels, wells, and galleries. This led to the further expansion of the underground passages beneath the city, necessitating the reinforcement of building facades. The ancient aqueduct system remained in use until the late 19th century. However, during a cholera outbreak, the Italian authorities decided to pump the water out of the wells. During World War II, underground Naples served as a reliable bomb shelter with a capacity for about 20,000 people. Today, underground Naples offers tourists a fascinating guided tour along a designated route, making it a highly popular attraction. One of the greatest mysteries in European countries is undoubtedly the Erdstall tunnels. These man-made tunnels have been discovered across a vast area, from western Scotland to southern Turkey. The largest number of Erdstalls, at least 700, are located in Bavaria, Germany. The mystery of these underground structures lies in the fact that scientists still cannot determine who built them or for what purpose. Moreover, experts cannot pinpoint their exact age, with estimates ranging from 12,000 to 500 years old. Erdstalls clearly share a common origin, as they have a number of unique features that set them apart from other underground passages. These tunnels are very low and narrow, all oval-shaped, and typically no longer than 50 meters. Additionally, they are equipped with so-called schlupfs, narrow openings up to 40 centimeters in diameter that allow for transitions between tunnels. Extensive archaeological excavations have failed to uncover any artifacts that might shed light on the mystery of these structures. For this reason, researchers are left to propose hypotheses about their purpose. According to one theory, Erdstalls were used as shelters. However, this theory was debunked because the passages are too narrow and lack proper ventilation. Some experts believe Erdstalls may have been used as underground storage spaces. However, this is also unlikely, given their small size and the fact that many of them fill with water during the winter months. Perhaps the most intriguing hypothesis is that these tunnels were not built by humans but by mythical beings, dwarves, elves, or goblins. Of course, this theory is nothing more than a playful suggestion. Zeljava is the largest underground airbase in all of Europe. It is located near Mount Pljesevica, on the border of Croatia and Bosnia and Herzegovina. The idea to build a large airbase emerged in Yugoslavia in 1948, as other countries already had similar strategic facilities. During a visit to Sweden, Yugoslav intelligence representatives toured underground airplane hangars and weapons factories. Impressed by such military structures, they asked Sweden for assistance in constructing their airbase. Swedish military designs became the prototype for Zeljava. In 1952, the Yugoslav Ministry of Defense began constructing the underground airbase. Croatian and Serbian construction companies with experience in building military infrastructure were the main contractors. The ambitious project cost about $6 billion at the time, making Zeljava the most expensive military facility in Europe. The underground airbase included 4 galleries with a control and dispatch center above them, as well as several fortified portals for various purposes. Its location atop a mountain and its vast area allowed for the control of neighboring countries' airspace and the capability to attack without external support for up to a week. The entire complex was fully illuminated and equipped with a ventilation system that maintained a constant, comfortable temperature and humidity level. At the mountain's peak, powerful radars with protective domes were installed, some of which remain intact to this day. Runways for airplanes were located on the surface, protected by anti-aircraft missile systems. Zeljava was actively used during the Yugoslav conflicts in 1991. It helped maintain control over the airspace, but in 1992, the airbase was destroyed. In 1958, During the height of the Cold War, the U.S. military sought a suitable location to construct an underground bunker that would serve as the command center for the North American Aerospace Defense Command, NORAD. Cheyenne Mountain in Colorado, standing 2,915 meters above sea level, was chosen for its low seismic activity and location deep within the continental U.S. Construction began in 1961 and lasted 3 years. Tunnel systems were created using controlled explosives, with workers taking care not to cause significant damage to Cheyenne Mountain. The construction of the NORAD command bunker was not a secret. Its development was reported in the media, and its scale was disclosed to the Soviet Union. The bunker became a source of national pride and a cultural icon, earning the nickname Doomsday Bunker. The core of the NORAD Command Center consists of a system of intersecting tunnels located 61 meters inside the mountain. The main structure is a 3-story building housing the command center itself, protected by a massive reinforced concrete dome to safeguard against potential rockfall. Entry to the facility is via a curved tunnel over 1.5 kilometers long. The bunker covers an area of 18,000 square meters. During the Cold War, it housed at least 1,000 personnel at all times. To ensure comfort, the complex included a hospital, gym, sauna, and barbershop. Since its construction, the command center operated for over 30 years. In 2006, it was placed on standby status, but in 2015, it resumed operations as NORAD's command center. China, like most countries in the world, has underground complexes designed to ensure the safety of its citizens. One of the largest underground shelters is located in Beijing and is called Dixia Cheng. Dixia Cheng is an enormous network of tunnels and chambers covering an area of over 85 square kilometers. Unsurprisingly, this structure is also referred to as the Great Underground Wall of China. Construction of Dixia Cheng began in the 1970s during the Sino-Soviet split. The decision to build the underground shelter was driven by Mao Zedong's fear of a possible bombing campaign by the Soviet Union. This threat was very real, and if military actions had unfolded on Chinese territory, the duration of the conflict would have been uncertain. For this reason, the shelter was designed to provide comfortable living conditions for an extended period. The bunker was designed to accommodate the entire population of Beijing at the time, 6 million people. For children, classrooms and pediatric clinics were built in the underground city. To entertain adults, the bunker included shops, cinemas, hair salons, restaurants, and even a roller skating rink. Auxiliary tunnels housed grain, weapons, and other supplies. Additionally, special zones for cultivating mushrooms and various crops were established within the massive bunker. In other words, Dixia Cheng was equipped with everything necessary to sustain life in the event of a nuclear war. Fortunately, the shelter was never used for its intended purpose. In 2000, some parts of the tunnels were opened to the public and quickly became a tourist attraction, though the majority of the complex remains off-limits. In the Canadian province of Saskatchewan, beneath the city of Moose Jaw, lies an extensive network of tunnels that once served as an underground city with a rich history. The Moose Jaw tunnels were built in 1915 and initially used by workers of the Canadian Pacific Railway to transport coal from the nearby Vanuskawin coal mine. The tunnels also allowed workers to travel to their jobs during harsh winters and bad weather. It is believed that the tunnels were also used by Chinese immigrants as a refuge and temporary housing. In the 1920s, with the introduction of prohibition, the purpose of the tunnels changed dramatically. No longer used by railway workers, the tunnels became a hub for bootleggers and gangsters. They transformed into an underground city where alcohol was produced and sold. Casinos and brothels also operated within the tunnels, leading them to be called a miniature Chicago. It is believed that the operations in these slums were controlled by the infamous gangster Al Capone. Today, the Moose Jaw tunnels are a popular tourist destination. Visitors can enjoy a theatrical experience that delves into the history of the tunnels. The show consists of 3 parts. The Chicago Connection Tour takes visitors back to the Prohibition era, where they take on the role of a bootlegger and meet Al Capone. The second show, Passage to Fortune, tells the story of the challenges faced by Chinese immigrants in Canada. The final show, Bunker 24, transports visitors to the 1950s, where they imagine themselves as recruits participating in the Cold War. A modern journey into the Moose Jaw tunnels promises an unforgettable experience. That's all for now. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Your support means the world to me. Thank you for watching and see you soon. Bye.